Hey there folks, and welcome back for another shaving video. I'm your host CDB or not, and today, if I can turn that the right side up, we're going to use Stirling Island Man soap, which is a wonderful tropical type scent. Now, they're in their fall season right now, so I'm not sure if this is still for sale or if it has sold out. But if it has, remember it for next spring or summer. I know the aftershave is still available. I just picked that up the other day because I didn't have the aftershave. I just realized that this goes for the price isn't on the website right now, but generally their soaps are between $12.95 and $13.50, somewhere in that range. So certainly they don't charge exorbitant prices for their soaps or anything else for that matter. Let me go ahead and wet the face and we'll get started. And by the way, before I do that, we'll be using the Gillette Red Tip Super Speed today, which is one of my favorite vintage razors. Stay tuned. All right, so here we go with our Island Man. And by the way, I'm using the Stirling, they're calling it the 2-band synthetic brush, which has a black wolf or tuxedo type knot. And I like it a lot. It is $11.99. Go back and watch the video I did yesterday on this brush because I used this brush yesterday. I really enjoyed it. I did find a defect in the lettering, and well, let me just explain. I was still happy with the brush because at $11.99, you know, what the heck. And a lot of times the lettering rubs off in these brushes anyway. Over time, not overnight, but over time they tend to get, you know, removed from use. Anyhow, I had made a video yesterday, or actually I made a tweet early yesterday morning saying that I loved this brush. There was a slight flaw in the lettering, but for $11.99, it's fantastic. Anyhow, Stirling, Rod, I should say, from Stirling had replied to that tweet saying, oh, that should have been sold as a factory seconds. We apologize. We'll send one right out. And they did send one right out. Well, anyway, when I got home from work yesterday, I started making a video about this brush. I had not seen that tweet. So I made the video and I went on to say I was very happy with it and all the rest. And then while I was uploading the video about the brush, I happened to see the tweet where he said, you know, oh, that should have been a factory seconds and all the rest. That doesn't meet our, you know, standards and all the rest. And so I had to make another video explaining what great customer service they have and all the rest, which is no surprise. They've always been this way. Anyway, there were two videos on this brush yesterday because I wanted to come back and clarify about the lettering that does not meet their standard. So just wanted to pass that information on to everybody. Now the soap, as you can see here, is fantastic. The quality of Stirling matches anyone. I've been saying that for quite some time, and the price is better than most. And I don't know about you, but I like that. So we always encourage people to check their products out. If you have not, I think you'll be pleased. And if you don't like it, you're not out too much money because they don't charge exorbitant prices and they don't gouge you on shipping. Shipping, I bought, you know, several things Monday and it was $3.95. Not $8, not $9, not $7. I mean, you gotta love that, or at least I do. All right, excellent first pass. Stay tuned. We'll come back for pass 2. All right, and here we are, back for pass number 2. And this brush is really soft, but it has some backbone. So it's a really good combination. Not too much backbone, but it does have some backbone, so it feels really nice. I do get questions from time to time. Why, I should say, you talk so much about the likes of Stirling and say Razor Rock and other companies that provide good value. And the answer to that is quite simple, because I like not having to pay through the nose for products that work just as well as the products you have to pay through the nose for. I like dealing with people who give you a decent, or more than decent, a great product for less than most people sell it for. Who doesn't like saving money? That's the reason. And also, I hope people will check them out, because when folks do frequent companies like this, they just continue to reinvest in the business. I think they have a ton of these that they bought, and your business allows them to, develop new things. They're not out there asking for money via Kickstarters. They're not asking for you to foot the bill for their projects. They're taking the risk, they're making the products, and they're not charging their nose for it, and I really appreciate that. Sometimes other people get upset when I talk about costs. I'm like, well, they're trying to make a living. All these other people are charging, $20, $25 for soap, and that's fine. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely fine. But you have to understand that Rod and Mandy of Stirling are trying to make a living too. And they don't have any other jobs. This is their primary business. This is not something that they do as a hobby just to make some extra scratch. This is their job. So they too are making a living. They're just doing it charging less than most other people. And so I do appreciate that. Now, that said, there's plenty of soaps that are quite worthy of paying more for. Don't get me wrong. And I will. And I always say this, of course, I'll always go and check out Peter Charkelis' stuff. I'll check out Katie's Bubbles stuff. I'll check out Cold River Soap Works. It's worth it, believe me. But I just want to let you guys know that there are products out there that work just as well, that you don't always have to spend as much on. But let me just say this. It is important to try different products. You don't have to try them all at once. You don't have to, spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. Do try some different brands. But, if you're on a budget, money's tight, you're not going to miss anything at all shopping with these folks like Stirling. In fact, you're going to get a great product. You're stretching your dollar. And I really, really appreciate that, because I've spent enough, believe me. All right, that was an excellent second pass. Stay tuned. We'll come back for pass 3. All right, here we go for our third and final pass, and it's been a beautiful shave thus far. The brush is fantastic. The soap is fantastic. Smells great. Performs great. And I haven't spent a heap of money. I haven't talked much about the razor, but the Gillette Red Tip Super Speed is one of my favorite vintage razors of all time. A little bit heavier than typical Super Speed. Some say it's a little more aggressive than the other Super Speeds. I can't validate that. I can't really tell, to tell you the truth, although I do prefer the little additional heft that it has over some of the Super Speed models. And it really is a great vintage razor. So if you find one somewhere at an antique store on eBay that's not crazy expensive, because a lot of times the red tip and the blue tip can be a little more than you want to pay. If you see one that's inexpensive, give it a shot. It is a great razor. It has stood the test of time, and as have most of the Gillette safety razors, to be quite frank with you. And of course, we'll go with our third and final pass with the Gillette Red Tip, and the soap is excellent. It's doing all the things you want a soap to do, providing that slickness, cushion, glide, and all the rest of it. Astra is the blade, by the way, and it's performing quite well also. So really nothing to complain about this morning. This Friday morning. Cold outside. I guess I could complain about that. It's starting to get down to the 30s and so on. I could do without that, quite frankly. I don't care for that anymore. And of course, we talk about that about every year, how I'm not crazy about it, but we'll get through it and get to spring before you know it, or at least I hope. We had a really mild winter last year, so I'm hoping we don't pay the price for it this winter. We'll see. I hope we don't, but never can tell. All right. As you can see here, plenty of residual slickness with the soap, and everything feels fantastic as usual. All right. hang by there, and we'll come back and do our post and use the Stirling Man aftershave, or Stirling Island Man aftershave, which I've never used before, so we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned. All right, and here we are, back with the magic made by witches. There's witch hazel. You see it daily here, or if you've never watched one of these videos, now you're seeing it. It is an excellent toner. For me, I prefer the cucumber. It's just a really fresh, neutral scent. It doesn't hang around, so it's not going to interfere with your aftershave. We'll let that set for just a moment before we get to the Island Man and quickly talk about the other gear we used. Gillette Red Tip Super Speed, outstanding, and Astra, the blade. This is my last use on this blade. I usually use these for 3 shaves. I used to stretch them to 4, but honestly, there's no reason to do that, really. They're $10 for 100, so 3 shaves is plenty. No need to push it, really. You're not proving anything by pushing it. You're not even saving that much money. Sterling 2-band synthetic is fantastic. If you want a nice soft synthetic brush with a little backbone, this guy at $11.99 I think is a steal. It really is a wonderful brush. And of course, check out the other videos on this brush where I talk about their customer service as well. Just great people, in my view. And last but not least, we will give the Stirling Island Man aftershave a shot and see how it goes. Again, these aftershaves are usually around $12.95 to $14 at the most, I want to say. And they have pretty doggone good ingredients, at least for my use case. We got alcohol, witch hazel, fragrance oil, aloe, glycerin, hydrovanes. That's all I need. I need nothing more in an aftershave. You may. I don't, and I didn't have to pay a ton for this. Not $20, not $25. And yes, I'm going to keep saying that because, folks, you don't have to pay that. You don't. And if you don't want to, come on over. Oh, that smells nice. Island Man is really a proper name. It really is a tropical type scent, and what could be better on a 30-some degree morning? Back to what I was saying. I'm going to keep saying that, and if you don't like it, I'm not sorry. There are aftershaves out there where you don't have to pay through the nose. I was just daubing a little bit of that excess aftershave off the bottle there, or top of the bottle. You don't have to pay through the nose for these, and they work great, and they stick around. So this scent, or most of the Stirling aftershaves, last a number of hours, and sometimes all day long. 8 hours or more. Work day, let's call it. Most of them get me through the workday, and I've talked about the Razor Rock aftershaves, and there are plenty of others, but I think Stirling makes one of the best aftershaves out there for the money. And again, not $25, people. That's great. All right. Thanks as always for watching. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB. You're not. And what do we usually say here? We say, let's help the entire world shape great once again.